welcome to my channel. This is my weekend vlog. So I decided to make some chicken soup. My husband's kind of having a little bit of tummy problem. He's kind of getting better, and then we go out to eat or something, and then again he gets his little tummy problems. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna make a nice chicken soup. So I've got some quarter legs here. So I've divided the thigh from the drumstick, and I cut off a little bit of the fat, and I've washed it like really well. So I'm gonna get some nice clean broth. I've got some water already boiling right here, and I've already got some salt in there, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop these in there. Let's put that right in there. Okay, so while my chicken is gonna start cooking in there, I am going to cut up some little potatoes and some carrots. So I've got this going. So how is all of y'all's weekend? Has it been nice and cool where you are? Is it hot? What is the weather where you're at? Here it got cool, so it was really nice. Sorry about the banging noises. I didn't do very much this weekend. Yesterday, kind of just got a new Christmas intro and outro for my videos done. And then I just did a few other little things. I went outside and I picked up some pots that got kind of displaced because, you know, we had our wooden fence done outside. So things are just all over the place, kind of a mess. So I went out there and I tried to kind of like clean up a little bit. So it felt really good to do that. And I've been feeling really, really good. So I took advantage of that. But I didn't want to like push myself too much because I don't want to be in pain. But then my husband, because my husband decided to go into his office yesterday, so he actually did work a little bit. I'm going to cut these up a little bit more because that other carrot was really thin. Okay. I love carrots, you guys. I think I'm just going to put a couple of them in there. I cleaned all of these really well, and I actually scrubbed them because I don't want to peel them. I want to have the peel on there because there's lots of goodness in them, and I don't want to lose that. So I've got them in there. So anyway, when he did get home from work, we did go do a little bit of looking around stores. And I've always wanted a marble, you know, a pastry board, a nice big one where I can roll out some nice dough or like a pie crust or even like sugar cookies, because you know those kind of items, you need them to be kind of cool, especially like sugar cookies, because you can't really form them so great, like especially here where I'm at, you know, the humidity and so forth, and then all that rolling around makes the dough, the cookie dough, super soft, kind of melty. And then when you try to lift up the shape that you've cut out, it just stretches out and just, it's a mess. So I've always wanted to buy these pastry boards, and we went to World Market, and it's super heavy, guys. I don't even think I should try picking it up. It's 20 by 16 inches. Let me move this out of the way. Here. And I'll finish cutting my taters and stuff. Look. See this? They had another one that had a little bit more, well, not a lot, a little more marbling. Sometimes I start saying something and then I realize, no, that's not true. Anyway, but it did have a lot compared to this one because it was very obvious. I had pretty little tan lines and some gray, and I really wanted that because it was like obvious, you know, a marble board, but it had some little dings in it. And then I said, you know what? Now that I look at it, I think I like the whiter one because it looks clean and it looks really nice. And it just has a little bit of the marbling. I can see it here just a little bit. It's very light. It's got some white, but it's really pretty. It's I think, did I say it's a 20 by 16 inch? And I got it at World Market, and it was, excuse me, it was $40. I think from the last time that I made the arroz con leche, some of the, excuse me, some of the milk that I had boiled over me a little bit, and it spilled out of my stove, and I didn't really clean it very well. And we've been going out to eat, so now that I'm using it, I used this one this morning, but some of it I think it's like burning, and I can smell it, and it's making me cough. It's not as bad as when I first turned it on. And I need to hurry up and get this. Make your chicken soup, you guys. I know everybody has a different way of making it. This is not like, oh yeah, my grandmother, my mom used to make it. This is just a way that I just happen to be making it. So I throw these 2 little carrots in there. And then I'm going to throw these little potatoes. And I'm also thinking maybe I don't need to add them all. Really and truly, for my husband, really, the broth is really all he needs. I'm going to throw them in there like that. So I'm going to get those, once I get the chicken is cooked, I'm going to pull them out and then just like take the meat off of them and then just, you know, like chunks of it and just throw it back in the pot. And then, you know, we don't have to worry about, you know, eating it off the bone or trying to get it off the bone. I think it'll, but I threw it all in there because it'll flavor the broth really nicely, the bone and a little bit of the skin. I cut off quite a bit of it off actually. But I left some on there so it'll have a little bit of fat, so a little bit of flavor. But I'm gonna do what I always do, and I'll be like skimming any fat that floats up to the top. Do you ever like feel like, you know, like when you buy potatoes, and you know you just buy them and you have them in your little basket or wherever you decide to put them, or I don't know, maybe you just buy them for a particular meal that you're making, which is what I do now. I used to buy like a 5-pound bag of the little russet type of potatoes, little Idaho potatoes, and I used to just keep them in the bag and then put them in a basket thing and just pull out what I needed and wash them as I did. But I always felt like if I washed 3 of them and then I ended up realizing, well, I only need 2. Then I was like, oh no, but I already wet this one, so I gotta cut it up. That's kind of what I feel like right now, because I thought I'm only gonna use 2, but then I already washed them, so I always feel like I have to use them because I feel like the moisture is gonna make them go bad. I don't know. Do you all feel that? Is that something that's true that really happens, or is it just me thinking that it happens? Okay, there we go. And I'm just gonna add some garlic because garlic is good for you. I'm gonna throw a couple of cloves in there. That may sound like a lot to you guys, but we love garlic, we love the flavor, and it's actually really good for you. And I'm gonna cut a sliver of this onion here, just for flavor. And I did add a little bit of pepper already into the water, salt and a little bit of pepper. So I'm putting this little piece of onion right in there. Okay, so that's it for my chicken soup. Oh, I got some rice. Haha. Okay, gotta put that in there too. Wait, I don't want to throw this piece. So anyway, what do y'all think about the potato situation? Is that a thing for you guys, or am I just weird? And how many weirdos out there? Raise your hand. Say I'm weird, and then tell me what you're weird about. As far as like, you know, veggies and things like that. Okay, now I'm gonna put some of this white rice in there. Rinse it off a little bit, and then that's good enough, just a little bit, and I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my rice. Oh, well, I had my hand in there moving it around, and I got it all washed. I put that in there into my yummy chicken soup. I'm actually going to cover this and then just put at a medium. So I'm going to lower this. Excuse me. Stir it up a little bit. And I can already see like the little scummy bits of stuff coming up. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and start removing some of that, and I'll be back. All right, I went ahead and I cleaned up some of the little kind of scummy, you know, kind of foamy bits on the top. So I'm gonna wait a little bit more, check it again, and remove some more of that. It's gonna be my chicken soup. And if I didn't already tell you that, I can put away all the rest of this stuff now. I've got something else I want to make, you guys. I have been craving something. I'll tell you something else, because we went shopping because I'm trying to find a little desk that I can use in my makeup area, because right now I have a desk there, and it's the kind that you put a computer and the little thing kind of flips down, but it's not a real drawer. So I have another little thing on the side where I put, you know, like a little 3 basket thing on the side that I bought at Burlington some time ago, and I put stuff there, and that's fine. But now I've got my makeup in a little, you know, a little carry case thing, and I would like to put it back into something or a drawer, especially just the makeup that I just used, because I just throw everything in there and then we take off to wherever. So anyway, so I want a little desk, but I want something a little more narrow than what I've got. And I decided that the table that I have at the end of my bed, which is narrow, because we want to replace that, I think I'm going to try sanding it down and spray painting it or brushing it, maybe with some white chalk paint. I think that would look kind of pretty. Then maybe give it a little bit of a roughness to it. The only thing is that I'm dreading the work. The sanding part, at least, is the part where I'm like, you know, when you prep something that really takes longer usually than actually, you know, decorating or getting it to look pretty. So, but we went shopping and we went to a store called Home Goods, and I looked to see if I could find a little table. I could only find like side tables, things that have like little shelves. I even considered, well, maybe if I get one of them that has like the two shelves underneath, I could just remove the bottom shelf where I could actually sit under it and put my feet under there. But then I thought, well, no, the middle one is still kind of in the way. And I really want something with a drawer. And the only one that I did find was a little too modern. It didn't go with the look that I want in my bedroom. So, and it was like $199 too. So I said, no, I don't want to spend that much. I want a cheaper one. So I was thinking, well, maybe I'll look like in like estate sales, garage sales, things like that that are posted on my Facebook pages. I follow a few like garage sale, like for my city and such, and estate sales. So I thought I'd look there, but then I'm also thinking about that table, like I just said. So I didn't really buy anything, but my husband did buy me this pastry board. I don't think we bought anything else except these cookies. How about these little what are they called, macaroon? I've always wanted to try making them, so I'm gonna try. I see you know, some videos of them making them, and I thought I'm gonna try. This one has almond meringue with a raspberry natural flavor cream filling, and I haven't tried it, so I'm gonna try one right now. Look at that. I bought it because I just want to be a little bougie, and I'd sit down with a cup of tea and have them, and they're so pretty. They even have like a little pretty little. It's product of Italy, it says, I think. Yeah, product of Italy. But look at the little pretty lady there. She looks like me. Well, I look like her. Anyway, we got the same flat nose. Oh, they're packaged so nicely. Every time I see these, they're like so expensive, and I'm like, I don't know, I want to pay, you know, whatever, just to taste. Because, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, I want something. Has that ever happened to you? And then you finally get to taste one, and you're like, this is not that great. What's a big deal? There we go. Let's pop one open just so we can see what it looks like. Can I pop it open? Is it possible? Well, there's a little cream inside. I opened it, it looked like an Oreo. My mouth is watering, you guys. Sweet. My teeth. Might be some cavities roaming around in there for it to hurt. But oh my gosh, you guys, they have a lot of flavor. I can taste the raspberry and I can taste the almond. They're very good. I'm going to put it back because I'm talking and it's rude. So I want to have these. I want to enjoy them with like some tea or some coffee. Put these back in here. Because my kitty cat will climb up here, you know, he's like trying to find out what's in there. Even though it's not attraction to him to eat it, but he's curious, like, what is this? This is something new. I don't like it. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I did my house. I did the transforming it into fall, and I didn't do very much. I did very little. I'm very happy that I didn't do too much because then I have to put it all away and do Christmas. And I was going to put some pictures on the wall. And so I took them all out, and then I had some extra pictures that I really want to put in frames, and I realized, well, I don't have frames for them. Some of these pictures, the frames don't match these other frames, or don't match the style, and I kind of want to get everything to match, you know, the frames to kind of match. It don't have to be the same colors or anything like that, just kind of the same, you know, farmhouse, kind of country that I like, the look that I like. So I was at Burlington just a couple of days after, and I wasn't even thinking about looking for frames because I was looking for, I think, a comforter at the time for my bed, and I didn't find that. But I ran across these. Look at that. And it's got 12, and they're all attached, and it's very light, and I'm thinking these are like little plastic, they're not glass. And I paid, what, $12.99 for this? So I like this because I can put pictures of my baby, my grandbaby Leo, maybe like my son and my daughter-in-law, their pictures that they've taken together. They sent me a few of those. So I'm going to put those in there, and I think I'm going to print out some extra ones that they've been sending me on the phone. And then I got this other huge one, and I think this one holds like 21 pictures. And I'll just hold it like this so you can see the whole thing. Look at that. And this also has like a little plastic, this is like a little plasticky film, and I paid $17. It was $16.99. But I thought, you know, that makes it lightweight instead of having glass, so that's nice. I won't drop it, and it won't break. So that's nice. So I'm gonna get my pictures in there. Oops, I don't wanna bust up my little plants. I'm just putting these over to the side, you guys. Okay. I'm gonna take another look at my soup, skim anything off, and I will be right back. Oh, you know what? I did buy something else. I have been craving like a fig, you know, something like that, because I'm gonna do something next that could require using some figs. And so I've been kind of craving that kind of a flavor. And we were at the World Market. You know, they have like all different little jams and things like that. And they had a fig, you know, they had one that was a little jar, like about, just a little smaller than this. And I think it was like about $5 or so. And I thought, oh gosh, you know, sometimes I like to splurge and get something like that. But I wasn't convinced. You know how you have a craving for something and then you'll have it and then you put it away and then you no longer eat it for whatever reason. Then before you realize it's either expired or whatever. Anyway, but they had a tiny little jar, and it was 99 cents for this bon maman fig preserves. It was good mama preserves, huh? That's what it translates to me, at least. So it was a little jar like this. How much is this? Does it even say how many ounces or anything? I don't know. It's probably, yeah, 1 ounce. Yeah, I was going to say 1 ounce. Just a little ounce. And I've already opened it. I've already popped it open. And I had a little bit with some toast. Just spread it on top. It doesn't have like a really huge flavor, so I'm glad I didn't get the $5 one. This is where they have like all the little sample size items that you can just grab so you can try it. Or maybe like make a little gift basket for somebody. And my husband said, I think you're just grabbing that because of the little jar. Because look at that. Look how cute it is, you guys. And the little red gingham lid on it. It's so cute. So I thought, yeah, you know what? 99 cents. Just for that, I'm taking it. I told him. Just for that. Okay. Okay, you guys. Aside from that, the other thing I want to do is some calabaza and dulce. Excuse me, I just burped. Okay, I want to make some calabaza. I'm swallowing so much air, talking so much. Okay, I want to make some calabaza and dulce. What the heck is calabaza and dulce? That is a candied pumpkin or sugary pumpkin. And dulce means in sugar, okay? So calabaza is pumpkin, so it can be any type of a pumpkin that you can use to make a pie or whatever you want to do. But in Mexico, they make these candies. I'm not going to make the candies. I'm going to make something else. And my grandmother used to make this, but she made calabaza endulzada con, sorry, what did I just say? I'm turning it around. Calabaza and, let me think about this, guys. And dulce con leche. Calabaza and dulce con leche. Leche is milk, with milk, con leche. So it's pumpkin and sugar with milk. That's what I'm making. So I got myself a little pumpkin, and this is like perfect for a, you know, like a pumpkin pie. I have washed it and I scrubbed it really well because the peel goes into the cooking process, although you don't actually eat it. My grandmother used to make it, so I'm trying to make it like I remember her making it because I used to sit there and actually watch her make it. I learned a lot of sewing from my mom, but my cooking is influenced by my grandma, okay? So that is where my mind goes. So she used piloncillo, or panela, some people call it panela. Piloncillo, this is just a sugar. It's, let's see, let me see if it tells you here what it is. It's a brown sugar, obviously. 100% natural. It doesn't really say any other thing for me to describe it to you. Yeah, it's just, let me open it up so you can take a look at it. And you've probably seen them. Some of you might have seen them in your stores if you have like a Hispanic market or Mexican market on the side where they selling you these items. This is what it is. If you don't find this, you can go ahead and just use some dark brown sugar, like the packed brown sugar when you get some to put in this particular recipe. Okay, then you want some cinnamon, and I did a recipe with my arroz con leche, and I had this other cinnamon, and I don't know why I bought it because I had tons of cinnamon already, and I knew that I had it, but I completely forgot. And I bought this one, but it said a product of Vietnam, and it's very nice, and it smells very nice, and it's a thick bark. But I'm going to use this other one. This one's from Mexico, and let me show you the difference. I don't know. And I had mentioned when I was making the arroz con leche that the one from Mexico was like a little thinner, more flaky. This was a really good example of one right here, because this is too. It has lots of little layers in there. So let me just bring the camera down so I can show you. Okay, so this is the one from Vietnam, and it's a really thick bark that's been rolled up like that, you know, because it's shaved off the tree when it's still, you know, fresh and moist, so it rolls up like that, and then it gets dried, and it just stays in that state. It smells really well, but it is hard, and it's kind of hard to crack it. I had to use, well, I can't crack it, you guys. I can only crack this little bit. But this is the one from Mexico, and it's got lots of layers. Here's another one, and this one just pops open. Well, actually, this one isn't popping open that easily, but it does pop open a little bit easier. And look, it's got all these little flaky bits. So when my grandmother made the arroz con leche, or anytime she used cinnamon like this, and she threw it inside, you know, once it was in the water, all this kind of got loose, and these little flaky bits would all be in our atoles, or whatever type of pudding, or whatever or like if she made tea, you see all these little bits, see all that? So we would kind of dig them out, but stuff like this, we would kind of like chew on them. And then this stuff that was in our pudding, our arroz con leche, we used to just grab it because it had some little bit of milk stuck to it, some little rice bits. So we just like suck on it and just kind of clean it off, and then just toss it over to the side. But I'm going to use this one. Maybe I'll throw this one in there too. I'm going to use that for my recipe. And I'm also going to use some cloves. So I got these here. These cloves right here. I'm going to use, what are these called in Spanish? It's like a clavo, like a nail. That's what it's called. And they're in the little, because they look like a little nail. So they're not called clovos, because some people might want to say it's a clovo, because they would turn the word clove and make it Mexican or Spanish and say clovo, but it's actually a clavo. Okay, so that's what it is. I know that it's got sometimes the clavo is just the little ball here. So I know there's a like an extra word used in there, but I can't even think about it, you guys. So I'm not an expert, but I can tell you that much. This can be used in anything really. Some chai tea, some apple cider, and you guys know clove. You can use it in pumpkin pie and such. So I'm going to use that in here, and I'm going to use my piloncillo. Look what it looks like, you guys, like that up close. Those little holes are just from the, you know, when they're forming it, little air pockets there. Okay. What else goes in there? Oh, we can put some water in there. So let's prepare our pumpkin. I just checked my chicken soup. It smells so good, you guys. I can already see the rice already cooking in there. I wish I could tell you how much time, but I think maybe 20 minutes or so have gone by, maybe a little bit more. Okay, so I'm beating all my cinnamon that I want to use here on the side. I'm actually going to use both of these. Maybe one is a little too much, but I'm going to use it. I'm not going to unpack this one yet because I want to look at my pumpkin, because I want to make sure that it's good, because some of the pumpkins, when I was trying to pick them out, they didn't look very good. They look like, you know, because they've been in the store for a while now, and they didn't have like brand new fresh ones. And so I grabbed this one because it looked the best. And I was gonna grab a bigger one, but I thought that's too much. So I'm hoping that I can cut into it, you guys, because I don't have a lot of strength. My husband went to go wash my youngest son's car because before he left to Iraq, he drove it down from California to leave it here with us, and so he wanted my husband to use it. So my husband's been using it. So he took it to go wash it and vacuum it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start cutting. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared, you guys. In my younger days, I would not have been scared. I would have just been doing this. But I am so scared now. And now I wish I had him. And I was sharpening my knives too, so. Oh, I don't need my, this little plastic thing. That's actually making it really slippery. Okay. I thought it was gonna go to the floor. Let's go right there. Oh. Anyway, so I took it to go wash it because my son is home. Not home here. He's in the US. He's back from Iraq. He was there for 8 months, and he's in California now. Oh my goodness, I think I'm allowed to say that. And he wants to, he doesn't have like quite like a leave yet, like a long time, like 2 weeks or a week of leave yet. I think he said he might have it for Christmas, but he's gonna have like a weekend or so where it's gonna be like a little bit of a longer opportunity. So he wants to fly down and then drive his car back. So he's just gonna fly, hugs mom, dad, kiss, hug, and then leave. That's it. He's not even staying. He's not staying overnight or anything. So we were thinking, well, instead of flying all the way down to here, he could just fly to San Antonio, or maybe if he wants to just drive to El Paso. And then my husband and I were gonna drive 2 vehicles, and that's where my son says, no, San Antonio sounds fine. He doesn't like the idea of my husband's driving one car and then I'm driving another car. We're in separate vehicles, driving that long alone, even though he's gonna drive himself alone. He's really more concerned about me. Not that he's not concerned about my husband, but because I tend to fall asleep, you guys. So I used to be able to drive by myself everywhere, and I've gone to Austin, which is about 6 hours away, and I was fine. But now, if I drive by myself, I get really sleepy, and it happens to me on the way home, and usually the last like 50 miles, and I'm already getting home, and that's when I start getting like really sleepy, and I'm like this, and I'm fighting it. So I have to have someone go with me, and then, okay, let's take turns, and you drive a little bit. So my son said, San Antonio sounds good. We can drive to San Antonio, and I'm gonna be okay on the way over there. Ooh, finally got this off, you guys. Okay, so when you make this pumpkin, you're just gonna cut it off in big slices, and then you can cut it into like, you know, squares like that if you want, or you can just leave it in thin slices like you would a melon. And then you use the whole thing and just throw it in the pot with some water. But my grandma, she never did use all of this, and she didn't use the pumpkins. She actually took the pumpkins out, and then she kind of rinsed them off a little bit and let them dry a little bit, and then she toasted them with a little bit of salt, some cinnamon, maybe even some chili powder, and you know, she put them in the oven, or you could put them out in the sun to do that. Same difference. And then you can just pop them in your mouth and eat them. So I think I'm gonna do it the way my grandma did, because I don't ever recall her leaving that. Some of the seeds in there will be fine if I leave them in there. Okay, so now that I've got that part, let me try doing this, because I really should put it flat on this end and then try removing the bottom part. Y'all are probably saying, oh, I know a better way to cut it. You're doing it all wrong. But I'm doing it slow, you guys. So anyway, you went to go wash your car, vacuum it. So that because he said possibly the weekend right after Halloween. So maybe next weekend we're gonna drive up there to San Antonio, pick him up at the airport. And the idea is hoping that my other son who lives there can somehow, like, my husband's thinking that what we'll do is we'll drive to my oldest son's house, and then once we know that he's arrived at the airport, my husband will go to the airport in his truck or in my son's car, go pick him up, drive back to the house, and that way he can see Leo and meet him in person, so he can meet his little nephew. But we don't know if that's going to happen, or he's just going to have to wait till either Thanksgiving or Christmas, guys. Okay, this is so much work. But I'm getting it done. Look at this. Look at this. Boom. Yay. Oh my God, I'm going to try roasting these pumpkin seeds. I'm going to see that if my idea works. I don't have time for them to dry though, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to like just wash them off a little bit. But do I even have to do that? I've never done them, but I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to put the oven like at a low temp. And then I'm just going to spread them on a cookie sheet. And a little bit of salt, a little bit of, maybe a little bit of cayenne, cinnamon. And toast them in there a little bit. I'll just be checking them. Okay, so that's a bunch of pumpkin. Look at that. Look at all them seeds that I got. I think that's good enough. Okay, so I'm gonna cut up the rest of this. Let me cut one right now, so you can see how much trouble I'm going through. And cringe. And my knife gets stuck in there. I think maybe it works better with the other one. Oh boy. Maybe I do it this way so I can push the knife. There we go. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to scrape all this stuff inside of here, or after I've cut it, I don't know what would be the easiest, or leave some of it in there, not worry about it too much. And then do this number. I'm going to be here for a long time doing this, and my soup's ready, I think. And I'm just going to cut them like that. And I'm going to start putting them in my pot, and I'll be back, you guys, okay? So I'll be right back. And I'm back, and my arm and my hand hurt, you guys. So I've got some of the pumpkin in here. It's a very small pan. If I had a bigger pot, I would have continued, but I almost don't want to put this much into it because I feel like it's a little too much. So I'm just going to take some of these bigger pieces out. And I think what I'm going to do, not with these here or this here, but these and this one here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in the oven and roast them. So I think that'll be nice. So I've got all of this here, right, which is just a little more than half of the pumpkin. And I'm going to put about 2 cups of water. I don't want to cover it with water completely. I just want to put enough water at the bottom because we want to put this piloncillo, the sugar in there, and we want that to form like a syrup. So that's what we want, that water. So we don't want it to be like all watery. We want it to be thick. We want a thick girl in there. And if you really want it really sugary, which I'm going to do, I feel like I want to cut this in half, but I don't have my husband's muscles. So I'm just going to maybe keep an eye on it. Maybe I'll pull out. You see, as soon as I see it kind of melting away. So I'll put this one in there as well. And I would definitely do that if it was all of this, but I'll just do that. Anyway, so I'm gonna throw all this cinnamon that I have here, and I want it to fall in there into the water. And there's 2 cloves here, 1, 2, and there's like a little tiny one, actually with just a little stick. Now I'm gonna throw a third one in there. Why not? No salt, nothing else. Now we're gonna put this on the stove. I think you can use a little bit more of water. It's 2 cups what I'm using here. Okay. Push that in there into the water so that gets cinnamony. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put it on the stove, let it come to a boil, but I'm going to be checking it, and I'm going to be turning the pieces of the pumpkin and watching that the sugar, you know, I'm going to use I'm going to use a wooden spoon to break it up as it's cooking, and like I said, turning the pumpkin pieces so they can get cooked, so that the ones in the bottom, I trade them off with the ones in the top. So you basically want a nice big pot so that you can kind of lay your pumpkin in there, you know, kind of flat, or just do a little bit less than what I'm doing, okay? Put this on the stove. Okay, so I've got that on the stove. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up things here. I do wanna rinse out the pumpkin seeds because I do wanna try that. I'm gonna put these on a cookie sheet with some foil, And I'm gonna roast them in the oven, and then I'll do the pumpkins. I don't know the pumpkin seeds. I don't know if I'll get all this done for today or in time to just finish off the video. But I'm hoping that I can have at least the calabaza and oh my gosh, you guys, la calabaza en dulce con leche. Okay? Because we want to taste that for you. I want to have wonderful memories of my grandma. Okay, you guys, I'll be back. All right, everyone, here's my chicken soup. It is done. It looks so good. It's got chicken and rice in there. A nice, clean, good for you, healthy, homemade chicken soup. I'm going to cover that up because we're not quite ready to eat that, but we'll get to it in a moment. And here's my pumpkin. As you can see, it is boiling there. So I have grabbing the pieces that are at the bottom and kind of trading them off with the ones on the top. So this one's one at the bottom. So then this one that was at the top can get in there. And I'm going to turn these over. It's a little hard with holding the camera in one hand and doing this, but that's what I'm doing, okay? And there's my piloncillo right there. It's already falling apart, and the other one's, I think, kind of already melted in there. Okay, I think that's a good sign. Let's pull this back a little bit. Okay, I think that steaming up is a good sign, and I'll show you how this is starting to look. I've got my oven preheating. I actually got my top oven and my bottom oven because I'm going to put that pumpkin and then the seeds in there. Okay, so meantime, my pumpkin is cooking in the pot. I'm going to put this one at 350. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I put them with the skin side up just to kind of give them a little bit of, I probably should have covered it with foil, but I don't have a lot of foil, so I don't want to waste it. Okay, so I'm going to do it that way. I got another tray here. I wish I had parchment paper, but oh well. I'm going to dry these seeds, and once I got them in the water and I was moving around, it was really easy to remove the little, the little spaghetti things on them, whatever they are, little bits, little stringy bits of pumpkin like this. Once you get it in the water, they get like they harden, all like the sliminess kind of goes away. Well, it does. It goes away, and then you can grab them out of there, and they separate from the seeds super easily, so it's easy to remove that. So just put them in a little colander, get some running water, move them around, shake them around like that, and then you'll see that you can just grab those little strings out of there. Okay, let me get another bit more of napkin and on the top here. I wanted to throw some of these in my pot with the other pumpkin, so that's what I'm going to do, so I can see how that tastes in there. I think that pumpkin, the calabaza, the dulce con leche, it's going to end up being, for me at least. You don't have to add the leche, by the way. You can just do it with the sugars and just eat it like that. Okay, I'm going to throw some of these in there, in that pot. A little bit more. Just so that it looks pretty when it's served up. Okay, so I'm just trying to get these off of this wet napkin now because they're sticking. Okay, so I've got them off the little napkin, and I just dropped a whole bunch on the floor. Okay, that's all right. I'm gonna sweep them up. I don't know if these are not good for my dough. I'm gonna look that up and make sure. Where is this one? Oh, it's cracked. I thought that was a hair. And I was like, gosh, that hair is really staying in that one little spot. Okay, so now I'm going to put this here in my pan. And I'm going to grab some salt, my powdered cinnamon, and some cayenne leaves. I don't know, I feel like the cayenne's gonna add a little bit of that chilito, and then maybe I can squeeze some lime. I'm imagining all this stuff that I'm gonna do with it. I don't even know if it's gonna work out. Okay, so I'm gonna sprinkle. I'm getting hot. Sprinkle salt. Oops. I'm not dirty more. think I feel like that could be a little bit liberal with that. Okay, some cinnamon. And this cayenne. Like that. And then one out. And spread them out again. And I think like halfway into what I think they should be toasting, I'm gonna maybe toss them around again. Just like that, okay? All right, that's what they look like. And I'm putting them in the oven, and I'm gonna pull out the chicken and remove it from the bones. And this here, I gotta turn it around. I did lower the temperature on that. I had it on high to bring it to a boil. So now it's remained kind of at a boil, but I've lowered the temperature. And well, that's what I'm gonna do, you guys. I'm just gonna keep turning that around. Start removing the chicken off the bone so we can have that nice soup. I think my husband will more than ready for it. It is 5 p.m. And then let's see how these come out. And there we go, everyone. My chicken and rice soup, my calabaza con dulce. And I'm going to be adding some milk to this once I serve it up. And I did take out the chicken, took off the bone and the skins, put them back in there, just shredded it up a little bit. You can cut it up into little small bits if you want. But look how yummy and hearty this looks. I can't wait to try this. And here is my pumpkin. Let me pull out a piece here. There we go. So you can look at it. It looks so pretty, and my spoon goes into it so easily. As you can see right there, just this comes right off, little pieces, and look at the pumpkin seeds in there. Okay, and then all the yummy sticks, the cinnamon that's in there, all that yummy glaze at the bottom. I want to get some of that into my little bowl as well, but I also want to save a little bit for the pumpkin that I'm roasting, you guys. So we'll see how that comes out. We'll see how those seeds come out. But I'll probably post those maybe on the community page, or maybe I'll put them on my Facebook page and see how those come out. But this is what I have done and now. So let me serve this up so we can give each of this a taste. All right, I have served up my bowl of chicken soup, and then I've served myself some of my calabaza. Look at that, how pretty that looks. You could eat it just like that. Just take a little spoonful off and then just eat it like that. Mmm, so good. But the way that my grandmother used to serve it to me was to pour some milk over it. And this just brought back a memory that I do remember the squash having the little strings in there. So I'm glad that I did leave them in there, or your pumpkin did have the little strings in there. So let's give these a taste, you guys. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit more milk in it. It looks so pretty with the milk splattered all over it. It looks delicious. The white contrasting with the sugary pumpkin. Oh, it's beautiful. And our chicken soup, oh my gosh, you guys, I can't wait to give this a try. Mmm. What can I say, you guys? I made it myself. It is low in salt. Now, I feel like if somebody else was having this, they might want a little bit more salt in here. I personally, I'm gonna squeeze some lime into it because that's the way that my husband and I like to enjoy soups. So good. And what I like about it also is that it's also a very clean soup. It doesn't have too many ingredients, too many seasonings or anything like that. Just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. You could just have it like that. Maybe just have the broth. I would probably strain it, so get a lot of the little bits and things out of it, and then you can just have the broth if you feel like you're not feeling so well. So that's a good idea for that. And of course, this really wasn't a recipe video. This is just what I'm making for dinner on a Sunday, just what we felt like we needed. And oh my gosh, and I've been thinking about this pumpkin for the longest time. I've actually thought about it for years, but I've never even thought about, I'm going to do it. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to do it this time because I need to honor my grandmother. Her birthday is also coming up, and this is something, it's very traditional meal or dessert to make for Dia de los Muertos, which is Day of the Dead, which is coming up in November. So, you know, your thoughts, your memories are with someone, so it's nice to think about the things that maybe they used to do, or maybe the meals that they enjoyed and prepared, and maybe you can prepare them for yourself and your family, enjoy them, and have happy memories. So I was feeling somewhat nostalgic, and I thought, this is what I'm going to do. Of course, it's a week before the actual occasion, but you know, my grandmother is with me in my thoughts every day. I'm going to enjoy this with some milk, you guys. Get a little bit more of that milk. Oh my gosh. Oh, pumpkin seed with that. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is bringing back so many memories. Yeah, she did cook it with the little spaghetti bits. That's what I like to call them, the little spaghetti bits. You know, the little bits that are holding onto the seeds. Because now I do remember them coming off. And I think I would scrape them off because I wasn't sure I wanted to eat them. But I think as I got older, I did enjoy them. But oh my God, this is so delicious. You're not going to eat the skin. You're just scraping it off the skin. If you want, you could scrape it off the skin and put it into a little bowl, little chunks. If you're going to give this to some children, maybe leave out the pumpkin seeds out of there. You probably don't want them to have that, just in case. But this would be nice to even mush up a little bit, and you know, for a smaller child that you're able to now give them something sweet. Very good. You guys, warm. The warmness and the sugariness and the milk really, really complements this. I don't know what else to tell you about this, guys. It's just so delicious. I'm getting so many memories right now. So many thoughts. My grandmother would either use like a green pumpkin, or she would use an orange pumpkin, depending on what she found, what she would get. She did plant some, so sometimes if she had them in her garden, that's what she would make. I honestly can't tell you that she made it specifically for any type of season. I don't even think I even knew about Dia de los Muertos when I was a little kid, to be honest with you. But oh my gosh, you guys. I need to send some over to my mom before I eat it all and cry. Okay, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed my little weekend vlog, which is my little chitter chatter about shopping and the little things that I got. And I hope that you enjoyed me cooking dinner for my husband and myself. This nice little chicken soup and calabaza con dulce, or en dulce con leche. I want to take another spoonful, but I need to eat my soup first. Okay, everybody, put that aside because I need to eat this first. All right, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. Make sure you leave comments down below. Nice comments, everybody. And I think I asked you, how was your weekend? And I think I asked about your soup, or I don't know what else I asked you guys. If you have any ideas about the pumpkin seeds or what to do with that other pumpkin that I'm kind of roasting. In hindsight, it would have fit in the pan. I could have just put it all in there and just tossed it around because it kind of shrinks up a little bit. I almost felt like pulling it out of the oven and throwing it in there, but then I thought, you know what, maybe I'll do a little puree with that, and maybe some pumpkin lattes or something with that. So you let me know what you would do with that. And do you make pumpkin seeds? How do you make them? I've never done them. I've had them before. I've seen them made, but you know, it doesn't stay in my mind because I don't know if it's something that I really, really enjoy. But I'm going to try and enjoy little pepitas, little pumpkin seeds. I do know that you crunch them up and you just eat the inside part and then you throw out the little seed. I just ate that whole bit right now, but like I was saying, I wouldn't put this in here if you're going to give it to a small child. Anyway, that's it. That's my rant. That's not a rant, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you everyone who has been subscribing. Thank you so very, very much. I really appreciate the comments that you've also been leaving me. I'm glad you found me, and I'm glad that you're enjoying a lot of my old videos, and I hope that you're now watching these newer ones from this year. I'm going to be doing something really cool, I think. My next 2 Tuesday vlogs for Christmas. Last year I decided I did on November, it was all just Christmas. I didn't do any food videos because I had so many ideas for Christmas. I don't know if I'll do that this year. I don't, usually the stuff that I make is I'm making stuff for myself, or I'll give it away to somebody, and I don't really have the means to purchase a lot of materials to make a lot of things. I made an investment last year, so it might be next year that I'll do that again. But I'm going to try really hard, or at least I'm going to try and do things with the stuff that I already have, or stuff that just didn't cost me too much to make. But since I have my weekend vlogs and I'm tending to do food on my weekend vlogs, I might cut out doing a recipe on Friday and just doing a craft on there. Because I do want to do baby's first Christmas, and then I want to do some other things. But I'm going to start them off with those ribbon poinsettias that I did last week. I have a couple of projects that I want to do with those. So I think it's going to follow up either Tuesday and Friday or Tuesday and Tuesday. We'll see how that goes, you guys. But thank you all very much. Make sure you share on your social medias. And as always, oh, this one, because this one's making me think of my grandma. Enjoy.